Hey, y'all, I'm LaToya Drake, Extension Specialist for Food Access and Equity with Kentucky's Nutrition Education Program with the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service, and I'm here in our beautiful Allen County Cooperative Extension Service demonstration kitchen, and we're making our NCTC Plated Up Kentucky Proud recipe of the month. We're making a pretty easy one this month, pretty tasty. What's in season, you know, we got cucumbers abundant right now, so we need to use those up. So this uses cucumbers. It has blackberries, which are in season in this area from around June until September, depending on where you are. So get you some blackberries. You might have some frozen in your freezer. You can take those out and let those thaw out and use this for this recipe. So what it has is, let's just go over this recipe. And I didn't even put the title, it's a blackberry salad with cucumbers, right? So we've got 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We've got 2 tablespoons or so of apple cider vinegar. We've got some honey over here to put in our mason jar that we'll make our dressing in. We've got kosher salt or salt that we had on hand to taste. We have black pepper. I brought some fresh pepper that I can grind into our salad dressing here. We have 4 cups of spring mix, and this mix is from a local farmer here, Flourishing Herbs, and they're out of Allen County actually. So I got this in my local CSA, and I think we might have talked about CSAs before, but that is community supported agriculture. So what I have done is I have bought into the farm. So it is my farm, right? And I support our local farm, my local farm. And in exchange for that support, I get a weekly basket bag of produce. So I pay monthly. In fact, one of my benefits with work, they help me pay into that CSA and pay into that farm. And in exchange, I'm able to support that farm throughout the year, and I'm able to get what is in season. So part of what I got was this lettuce that we're going to use for our salad. I also got some basil that I mixed in with the mint, because it called for a cup of mint. And one thing about eating local, you want to use whatever you have on hand. So if you don't have enough mint, use some basil. Use some parsley if you like parsley. I find parsley to be disrespectful. It's gross, y'all. But if you like parsley, you use parsley. So use whatever you have on hand, but the main flavor is the mint. So we got mostly mint, and I mixed a little bit of that Flourishing Herbs basil with my mint. I also had a good cucumber, a nice long fresh cucumber from them as well that I was able to use fresh. And I got some blackberries at my local big box store. Even though they're in season, I didn't find those locally. So that's how you want to eat local. You want to get what you can and use what you can get at the store and make a meal combine. So we got through some of them. We have 3 cups, heaping cups of blackberries, and I rinsed those off. We have 2 cucumbers, and I had an extra long cucumber, and then I just cut up a couple of mini cucumbers, because use what you have. Make it work, right? We also have a cup of mint, and I told you I added a little basil in that, and we have 1/4 cup or so of chopped pecans. So we're going to just make this recipe up in a bowl, and while we do that, let's talk a bit about blackberries, because this beautiful color the beautiful color that blackberries have is given to it by the chemicals that make it beneficial for us. So we have, it's always such a hard word for me to say, anthocyanins. Anthocyanins, there we go. We have those phytochemicals in these blackberries that make it so good and healthy. They're going to reduce body inflammation. They're going to protect brain health. They're going to help our blood pressure. All those rich red, purple, blue vegetables, right, and produce. We think of beets, right? We think of strawberries and raspberries, but blackberries are rich in those too. And I love that you can use blackberries. You can use them in a sweet way, but you can also use them savory, like in this salad. So there's our Flourishing Herbs greens. Look how pretty those are. Let's add our blackberries. And always, before I got cooking, I always wash my hands, because I always share this with the office here, and I don't want to get them sick. That's not my intention. So before we get cooking, we always want to wash our hands. So let's go ahead and add these blackberries. Let's add our fresh mint and basil. Get it all in there. Let's add our fresh cucumber. And let's add our pecans. Now y'all, look how pretty that is. So pretty, right? The colors of the season, and rich and vibrant. So I love that this uses blackberries in a savory way. And I love that we have a couple of other plated up Kentucky Proud recipes that feature savory blackberries. One of those is our blackberry grilled cheese sandwich. Super delicious. I think when you use blackberries in a savory way, they really add to that like kind of vinegar flavor like you find in like balsamic, like they work with those kind of flavors. They kind of work with the same things that tomatoes would work with. There's another good savory blackberry recipe that is an omelet, right? A basil blackberry omelet that is super delicious. One thing with blackberries, or that it's kind of irritating sometimes, are the seeds. So another recipe that you can try in our Plated Up Kentucky Proud series is our basil blackberry spritzer. That'll drain some of those seeds out. And you can always store and preserve your blackberries through jam or jelly to avoid those seeds. And you know you want to check out your local extension office to get those research-based, science-backed resources to can properly, because we don't want to make people sick. We want to make sure that we're canning and preserving our foods appropriately. So whether you're in Kentucky or Tennessee, reach out to your extension office and get those resources. So when you're thinking about getting blackberries, you want to check to make sure that the fruit is uniform. You want to make sure that there's no mold or extra moisture in the fruit. You want to make sure that there's no crushed or bruised or fruit, right? So upon ripening, blackberries become this dull kind of black color. So you want to make sure that fruit is medium to large in size, like this, right? So let's make sure that this tastes okay. Let's see. It's a good one. So we got some good ones. So let's get it together. We want to store blackberries unwashed, covered in the refrigerator, and we want to use them within a couple days, right? Berries seem to go bad so quickly, whether they're strawberries or blackberries. So you want to make sure you're freezing those too. And again, check out your extension office to get resources to do that properly. Let us make up our dressing. Super easy, about 3 parts or so olive oil to 2 parts or so apple cider vinegar, or like whatever kind of vinegar that you have on hand. Like if you have balsamic vinegar on hand, mix it up, use that. If you have red wine vinegar on hand, use that. That is what it is about to eat local and eat on a budget. So we're also going to add about a teaspoon or so, until the ancestors tell me to stop, of honey. Yeah, I like that. And then we're going to add some salt to this. Okay. And now let's add some fresh pepper. Give it some flavor, give it some color. So I always, you know how I always use a mason jar with a lid to mix up our dressing, because it just makes it so easy. And then we just shake it on up. Until it gets all mixed together. All right, so this recipe is pretty much finished. We're gonna put the dressing on and we're gonna mix it together. I'm gonna grab some tongs out of this drawer somewhere. Not these. Sorry, guys. Now we have plain ones. All right, so we got this shaken up. And this blackberry recipe, this blackberry cucumber salad recipe, you can reach out to the Allen County Cooperative Extension Service for a copy of this recipe. And you can find this recipe at the Plated Up Kentucky Proud website. Just Google that, push that in, it'll come up really quickly. Also, you can check out planeatmove.com and scroll down the categories, click on Plated Up Kentucky Proud, and this recipe, as well as several others, will come up. And those recipes are budget friendly. They've been analyzed by our registered dietitian on staff with the nutrition education program. so they're going to be healthy. So check it out those ways, or reach out to Barry at NCTC. His email is barry.hyatt@nctcstaff.com. You can get that email from him. And we really appreciate you watching our Plate It Up Kentucky Proud Recipe of the Month. Thank you so much.